This morning on his radio, finally, after 180,000 days of social distancing, we have a guest in the studio. And he's Austin French.
Hey!
All up in that freedom hymn and everything.
Right?
I'm glad you guys are. I'm glad to see humans again.
I know.
Yeah, there's nothing like it.
You got in a car, popped right on over.
That's
You've been
right.
driving everywhere, dude.
Everywhere. I've been everywhere, man. You know that song?
Yeah.
I can sing that because it's true.
It's
It is
true.
this week.
It's the real
Wow.
deal. So I noticed something. I saw this post, and I have to ask a question about
Okay.
it. I need to get out of the way
Yeah.
right now, if you don't mind. So
Let's see it.
the post happens to be like a T-shirt.
Okay.
And the T-shirt starts out, "This is my freedom." And then how can you explain, if you would, please?
What's your best guess on what you think that is? You know,
This is my
Well, it's a
freedom.
picture, and what's the picture
in
of?
the picture, it's a ham.
It's a ham.
Yep,
Are
yep.
they making fun of you?
Oh, I made this T-shirt.
No, wait a minute.
I
You
made
it?
this T-shirt.
Really?
I am leaning into it. You know, here's any publicity, I guess, is good publicity.
Okay.
And I did a Christmas tour, and what's better at Christmas than a good old freedom ham? You know?
Well, that's true. Wait, do I hear it? Okay, I can't hear the song any different anymore.
I know,
Ever.
yeah.
My
Never
freedom
again.
But you
ham.
can purchase the shirt if you just can't shake it. You know,
Uh-huh.
it'll
It's
help
right
you.
there.
It'll help you cope.
You
with
know
it.
there is such a thing
As a freedom ham,
as a freedom ham. Have you ever had a freedom ham?
I've never had a
before?
freedom ham.
You haven't
No.
seen these?
No, is
wait
it
a
like
minute.
wrapped in an American flag? What
Well,
is
right
this?
now it's in tinfoil.
Okay.
But we do have
No,
freedom
you
ham.
have one
Yeah.
right here.
Such a thing as freedom ham.
No
Yeah,
way.
we do. Liz actually
What?
went into the kitchen, and there is a freedom ham, and it's for real.
Come on.
No, for real.
Here we go. Watch the knife.
Okay.
Here's the unveiling
What?
of
Oh,
the freedom ham.
my goodness.
Notice the red, white, and blue, and the stars that are on the freedom ham.
Oh, it's like a craft fair met a ham.
Right?
This is amazing.
It's glittered out.
Wow, glittered, red, white, and blue. Oh,
Right.
man.
Hold on, hold it up. We might as well take a picture
Wow.
so you
Put it
can
right there.
document this whole
Right.
time.
It weighs a lot.
This is incredible.
This is a freedom ham. So let's serve it
Are
up.
we going to carve this thing up?
Why not
not?
have some
America.
freedom ham?
This
You
is-
know?
Oh, wow.
That looks nasty.
Just looks so gross. Oh, America. Look at this.
I should have gotten a fork.
Oh, wow.
Down
Look at
with
there.
you.
Oh, plates, forks. Nothing like freedom ham at 7 in the morning.
Right?
You gotta have. Hey, you know they have ham and biscuits.
That's true. This
You
is
know?
I'm sure they're going to start serving this at Cracker Barrel soon.
They should.
Freedom ham.
So
Good July 4th.
We need to trademark together.
Absolutely.
All right.
I mean, I definitely got ahead of the curve here.
There we go.
Wow.
So
Wow.
Austin French, freedom ham.
Oh, wow.
There's more with
Thank
freedom
you
ham
so much.
coming up.
His morning crew.
A little bit of freedom ham this morning. The song's Freedom Hymn, by the way, and it's Austin French, and Austin French is spending some time with his morning crew on his radio
That's
this morning.
right. You'll never hear it the other way anymore. It's always
I'm
freedom
ruined.
ham.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although it's fun.
Oh,
It's great.
absolutely.
Yeah.
He has T-shirts that he sells that says Freedom Ham on it, and
Gotta
I
get
want
one
me
of those.
one. Yeah.
Absolutely. We can make that happen.
Autographed copy. I wear extra small.
All right. It's coming your way.
I just expose the midriff in those things, and that's about
Crop
it.
It's more of a
tops, we've
crop
had that
top.
talk. Yeah.
Austin French with us this morning, his radio. I noticed, I don't know how many years ago it was, but you went to Peru.
I did. Yeah,
That
Lima.
must have been life-changing for
Oh
you.
man, it was. I mean, if you look in even this photo, like all the shacks that are just kind of on top of each other on this mountain, that was like everywhere.
There's 1,000 of them.
Oh, it
looks
was
like.
it was
Yeah.
crazy. We actually met. It was kind of a life-changing experience. But I met this little girl, and we kind of went down, and she was like waving to us. We were on top of this mountain. Actually, this girl in the star hat right here in this photo, and she was actually a compassion kid who was being sponsored. She was like, "Hey, do you know Chris from California?" And I'm like, "Not at all." but she's like, "Tell him I love him." And I'm like, "Oh." She showed me all the letters that they had written back and forth. I was like, this is so amazing. So in a way, I wasn't there to see how sponsored kids are being sponsored and what their lives look like. But just by doing a mission trip, I met one of these kids whose life has changed because of it. It was really cool.
First mission trip for you?
I had done several. I actually did a lot more in the Ukraine and like Russia area. But yeah, this was my first one to South America and to Lima, Peru. It was incredible. We did medical missions there. Went with a doctor, and I got to do magic tricks for the kids outside as they waited to go get their checkup.
I was wondering if you were performing medical procedures.
No, they did not give me a scalpel. They learned. No, I couldn't even cut up that freedom ham earlier, so I'm glad they did not do that. I was just there for the entertainment and then to tell little kids about Jesus, and really beautiful things actually happened on that trip.
How'd you come back different?
Well, I became back a lot less afraid to share the gospel. There was actually this story on this trip where I felt like I literally just met this dude in the mafia. And I'm like, I got off the bus and I'm like, not talking to that guy, God. Like, I'm not talking to that guy. He scares me. And every time I turn around, he was like right behind me. And I'm like, either he's stalking me or God is like putting me in his path. Sure. And so I was like, okay, I have terrible Spanish. I brought over a translator and I just shared my testimony. That guy's now a pastor in this community and this little village in Lima, Peru. And it was because I was bold enough to share the gospel. Sure. And not that story is about me. It's about being faithful with where you're at and the opportunities God has given you. So I came back saying, well, if that can happen in Lima, Peru, that can happen at Walmart.
It can happen anywhere you are.
And so just trying to be faithful with where you're at in the moment ahead of you.
Wow. From Freedom Ham to bringing the gospel to the mafia.
Come on, man.
Peru.
That's right.
Your life is awesome.
Austin French with us this morning. More with Austin French coming up.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Have a guest. And he's Austin French along with us this morning on his radio. Still a kid. I mean, you're what, 15, 16 years old?
A little older than 26.
26 years old.
I'm in my latter 20s.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Get the rocking chair out.
Right?
I can say that now.
Us too.
I know, right? Life when you began with your wife, you call her Jocelyn, right?
I do, yeah. Her name's Jocelyn. I've called her Joe because I couldn't spell her name right.
Oh, sure.
As dating, so yeah, it just
I love the early family pictures of you and the dog and Joe.
Our dog Waffles. Look at that. That is our dog Waffles. We no longer have Waffles.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But she didn't turn into a pancake. She's good. She's good. We gave her to a loving family.
Okay.
Because when we moved to Nashville, we couldn't have a dog in our apartment.
Sure.
So
Oh, no.
It was somewhat of a blessing. I mean, we moved a lot. Now, this is Teddy.
Yeah.
He is the newest addition to our life, and he's a mini golden doodle.
Is he? I have a golden doodle. They're the best dog
They
ever.
are
Sorry.
the best. Teddy's the best. Like, he's amazing. This is Coleman, our oldest. Yeah.
How did Teddy
love
get
it.
in your family?
Actually, that's a crazy story. I was touring, and my wife, the really thing that's hard when I leave is nights, because my wife puts the kids to bed and then she's by herself.
Sure.
And so she really struggled with anxiety and a little bit of fear in the evenings because she was by herself. And so we talked about getting the dog. Well, we literally were just talking about it at lunch. I get a Facebook message from a fan saying, hey, I just feel like God has told us, like, do you want a golden doodle, like a mini golden doodle? And I was like, well, that's crazy. Can I get a picture? Got a picture. I was like, oh, he's the cutest thing in the world. And then they ended up delivering it to Nashville, Tennessee for free. They were like, we just feel like he needs a good home. We love watching your music, and your music's changed our life. So we want to give you a dog.
No way.
From South Carolina, actually.
Get out.
And so
That's
they
how
drove.
they
They
are.
drove all the way from South Carolina to Nashville, Tennessee, to give us Teddy. And so he's our gift from God, and
That's
we
great.
accept that, and he's amazing.
How many things have Teddy chewed up so far?
Nothing.
Really?
He came fully trained. He rings a bell
No.
with his nose
That's great.
For
to
dinner?
go to the restroom outside. Like when he's ready to go, he'll just go ring a bell. That's genius. Whoever figured out how to train him that way, we just have reaped the benefits.
Yes,
so
you
he's not
have.
been an issue at all. He's like literally not one bad thing I could say. He's great.
Has not chewed up a thing. I've lost AirPods. I've lost
She has.
food.
Oh,
Her
man.
dog, we're on a Zoom call. her dog went on the roof.
No way.
I'm like,
the roof.
she was on the roof. She's like, what's out here?
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to get a little breeze in the room.
Teddy's not gotten into anything.
Not really. No, he's been great. I mean, he pukes in the car. That's about. He gets
I'm
dog.
sorry.
He gets car sick. But
Yeah.
so now we just don't take him anywhere.
Yeah,
and he's
it's
great.
bound to happen.
Yeah,
Well,
he
I
doesn't-
love Teddy.
He doesn't have his bell in the car.
That's right. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Dad, I gotta go.
Excuse me, I need to
Missing
get sick.
business here, huh? Austin French with us this morning. More with Austin coming up.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
So you're just checking into his radio right now. You're in for a treat because we have Austin French along with us this morning. Here's what you missed so far. Austin French being served some Freedom ham.
Yep.
The real deal.
It's real. I saw it. I did not eat it.
Stores near you soon.
If you missed it, you'll see it on His Radio TV and the video replays, plus at hisradio.com. That's on Apple TV and Roku. So I had the opportunity, oh man, it must have been a couple of years ago. We're at Topgolf.
Yeah.
You know how to do Topgolf, dude.
Oh, I love to golf.
And that's where I learned that Austin French is very adventurous.
What have you done?
Adventurous. Like, okay, first, I don't understand why you lay down and take a nap in rafts before you go.
What is this about?
Man, you guys did some good digging here. This is good. This is literally my first Instagram post, I think, ever.
For real?
I think it's the first photo ever.
Okay.
Yep, senior year. But yeah, I like to whitewater raft. I like to jump off waterfalls, do all the things. So yeah.
I told you, crazy. So what was that rafting trip like?
Well, we didn't get very far. If you look, that was probably a raft from Walmart, and I think our paddle broke about 3 strokes in.
Oh no.
And we were headed out to the ocean. This is like a canal to the ocean. It didn't go super well. We ended up swimming the rest of the way back, and there it is. That's kind of what happened.
It's
at the
really
end.
deflated.
Yeah, it really deflated.
When I saw the picture of the deflation, I was like, well, that must have been like hours and hours later.
I
But
was
no.
probably 30 minutes in, right
so,
there.
So I'm going to guess jumping out of the plane was a different story than your first rafting trip.
Yes,
You geared up.
This was pretty great. That was probably one of the coolest things I've ever done. Was jumping out of an airplane.
Have you done it again since this first
I got
time?
married, so that would be a no.
That's kind of
it's kind of like jumping out of a plane.
right there, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And kids, it's like every time I have another kid, it's like jumping out of an
So
airplane.
what was this like for you? Jumping out of a plane and doing that. You did the tandem.
The
parachute thing, yeah.
tandem parachute. It was amazing. The guy before me, the guy who's actually kind of on my back, that's gonna have the actual chute. I watched the drop before me, and there was somebody's chute that didn't open. So the backup, they had to pull the back up, and I'm like, wow, that'd be crazy. And so they're pairing us up with our guys. I was like, man, who was the guy that their chute didn't open? He was like, oh, that was me. He's like, but the odds of that happening twice in one day, I mean, come on. I'm like, oh, okay.
So that's where you're taking that one. Okay.
All right. I mean, glass half full. Cool. But it's still halfway there. And so, but we went and it was incredible. It felt like a wind tunnel. I thought to have like this roller coaster feel, like my stomach, like just kind of in my throat kind of thing. But it just felt like I was in front of a big fan, and it was just like blowing this extreme air on me. And yeah, I never felt like I was falling. I didn't feel like I was falling until we pulled our chute. And like as we're just kind of gliding in the air, that's the part that was like, oh, I am thousands of feet in the air. This is crazy.
Do you like roller coasters?
Oh, I love roller coasters.
Okay, so you would have been okay if it did feel like
I
that.
kind of expected it to, and I was kind of a little let down that I didn't, you know. But I was like, it was still. I jumped out of a plane today.
Sure.
What else? Why could I? I can't talk bad about this.
No,
So it was pretty fun.
Wow.
That is wicked cool.
Yeah, it was
I've
cool.
never done that yet.
I mean, I
either.
recommend it. I mean, but if it
Y'all
doesn't
have
work out
that.
for you, I didn't recommend it.
I don't do roller coasters, so y'all can have
I
all
don't want to
that
be
stuff.
paired with a guy with a chute that only half opens.
Yeah, there you go.
That is wild. Austin French with us this morning on his radio. Coming up next, Austin French, his new song, Wake Up Sleeper. He's going to do that unplugged, and that's next on his radio.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
It's Rob and Liz, and with us today, literally, not on Zoom, but in the studio, Austin French. So good to have Austin French along with us this morning. So he was just a snot-nosed kid. I'm going to say 9 or 10.
A delicate way to put it.
Oh, man.
And at 9 or 10, he walks into this church, actually 18 years old.
Oh, man,
called the
yeah.
Journey Church. And at 18, you're the worship leader.
Yeah, I was.
At the Journey,
Oh,
Tifton,
man.
Georgia.
Tifton, Georgia. I literally went to lead worship for the college ministry one night. That's actually the night I met my wife at this college ministry. And then 2 months later, they were like, hey, would you be interested in being our worship pastor? I was like, you realize I'm 18. I have no idea what I'm doing. Cool. We're down for it. And they just let me be the worship pastor, and I grew and I learned a lot. I was leading guys on my team that were like twice my age, and so I kind of had this Moses complex a little bit of like, man, God, is this really supposed to be me? Like,
Right.
should I be doing this? And I just found out that when I was honest with people, it didn't matter the age I was. People value honesty. So when I called it falling forward, because I did that a lot of just like, oh, you know what? I didn't handle this right. Will you guys forgive me and let's move forward together? And
Okay, did you notice how he glossed over and he said, this is where I met my wife? By the way, then I was the...
I gotta ask, like,
Yeah.
what was that like? Did you see her?
Oh, well,
And just, hey,
yeah.
girl.
So we were in the same small group that night. And number one, I saw her and I'm like, oh, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then she started talking about Jesus. And I'm like, I'm going to put a ring on this. Like,
You knew then?
Oh, I knew right then I wanted to marry her. I drove like an hour and a half to my buddy's house and I was like, I'm going to marry this girl. They're like, what's her name? I was like, I have no idea. No idea.
Don't know.
But I'm going to marry her. And then sure enough, about a year later is when we got married.
So wait a minute. So did she know? I mean...
She had no idea that I felt that way at first, and then she thought I was cute, but she thought I had the ugliest shoes ever.
When did
What
you...
kind of shoes?
Oh, yeah.
It was olive green Toms.
Girl, Joe, I feel
Yeah,
you.
I don't know why. I don't know why she dated me.
But how
And I had the Bieber swoop. Look at that thing. It's
you
like-
did have the Bieber swoop. Yeah, the
She
hair was
loved
very
me.
Bieber-esque.
She loved me when
Yeah.
I was at my worst,
No.
and she really did. She saw the heart.
How'd you get up the nerve?
Oh, I didn't. She asked me out.
No.
Yep, I was
How'd
terrified.
you do that?
I don't know. I wish I could teach a class. It just didn't. She basically said, "I really like coffee," and I'm like, "That's awesome." And she was like, "I really like to drink coffee with friends." I'm like, "That's really cool." She's like, "Will you just please take me to go get coffee sometime?" I'm like, "Oh yeah,
So you
totally."
didn't catch the signs where you're supposed to ask the question.
Yep,
I
yep.
love your wife.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. She definitely stepped in and saved the day. And
That's
yeah.
crazy cool. Okay, so it looked like you've gone everywhere together. I saw you at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I took her to Disney World for the first time. It was her first time ever to Disney World, and yeah, it was really cool. We definitely have seen a lot of things, traveled a lot of places. It's been really cool.
So he does this post on his Instagram, and it's like, no, I think she did. Either you or she did, because we looked at her page, and it was like 16 days before the wedding.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind 16 days before you actually tied the knot?
I was literally in Los Angeles, and she was in Georgia. She was flying out on the weekends to come see me perform on this TV show I was on called Rising Star in LA. And yeah, it was wild. It was kind of like, are we gonna get married? How are we gonna get married? In the middle of this TV show, and it was incredible. It was beautiful, and we got married 16 days later after that picture. It was great.
And you looked beautiful. I mean, both of you absolutely looked stunning on the
Thank
day
you.
of your wedding.
I think we look like babies.
do look like
'cause
babies, but
we were. She was
yeah.
19. I was 20.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were. It was crazy.
Now, 3 kids later.
3 kids later, 6 years later. Yeah, we had a 5-year plan to start having kids. That didn't happen, and but I wouldn't change it. It's been a wild journey, and she's my best friend.
2 biological and 1 adopted.
Yeah, we adopted. So the start of our 5-year plan changing is when we met our oldest. He was 4 months old the day he got rescued out of living in a van, and we, in a moment, it just felt like God whispered I was his daddy, and so we just started fighting for him through foster care, and it took like a year and a half for him to finally come to be adopted by us, and then 2 months after he came to live with us, my wife gave birth to to our natural born son, Owen. And yeah, being a dad's probably my favorite title. It's been amazing.
And you have a baby girl just born on Christmas Eve.
Don't get me started. She is the light of my life. Oh my goodness. Yeah, my boys are like tornadoes. They are incredible, but they just wreck everything. And I love it because that's who I was as a kid. But my baby girl is like the opposite, and it's so refreshing.
You need to see the twinkle in the eyes as he talks about baby Louise.
Yeah, she just does something to my heart.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you
I
see
cry
his
a lot more now.
Index finger wrapped around.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of circulation there because she's just holding it so tight.
Austin French with us this morning on his radio. He is live and unplugged today.
Yeah.
And this is Austin's latest. It's called Wake Up Sleeper. Let's hear it.
Thank God for the daylight. I spent a long time in the dark. Felt good saying goodbye. Waking up to a brand new heart. So if you're sleeping like I used to be, in a grave that holds you tight, there's a savior calling, promising a brand new life. He's saying, wake up, sleeper, open your eyes. Oh, sinner, rise, leave your past out the door. Wake up, sleeper, come to the light. Oh, Christ is alive. Death don't live here anymore. Death don't live here anymore. I bet you like that freedom, yeah. I bet you like your new name. Oh, welcome to the kingdom. Yeah, we all feel that way. So if you see somebody sleeping like the way you used to be, tell them about the Savior and a little thing called free. Go ahead and say, wake up, sleeper, open your eyes. Oh, sinner, arise, leave your past down the door. Wake up, sleeper, come to the light. Oh, Christ is alive. Death don't live here anymore. Rise up and come out of that grave. Rise up in that amazing grace. Oh, sleeper, won't you come awake? Come awake, yeah. Rise up and come out of that grave. Rise up in that amazing grace. Oh, sleeper, won't you come awake? Come awake. Wake up, sleeper, open your eyes. Oh, sinner, arise, leave your past out the door. Wake up, sleeper, come to the light. Oh, Christ is alive. Death don't live here anymore. Rise up in that amazing grace. Oh, sleeper, won't you come awake? Come away, yeah. Rise up and come out of that grave. Rise up in that amazing grace. Oh, sleeper, won't you come awake? Come awake.
That is Austin French. Yes. In the studio this morning with His Radio. If you missed our any time with Austin French, you can catch it again. Video replay, hisradio.com, Apple TV, and Roku. Thank you for the time today.
Oh, man, this is great. I love seeing you guys.
Me too.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
Big news, last week that Amazon finally got the go-ahead from the FAA. Hey, you want to deliver by drone? Deliver by drone. But guess who's doing it first?
Walmart.
It's Rob and Liz on His Radio. Yeah, only in North Carolina, though.
Yeah.
So in North Carolina, they started testing in Fayetteville. So Walmart has been doing this with a drone and delivering stuff with a drone to houses in North Carolina.
I wonder if anybody's gotten a delivery and how it went. That's my big question.
Yeah, if you know somebody or if you've received a delivery by drone in North Carolina, call.
Please, I want to know.
Want to know the experience and what it was like at 800-447-7234. 800-447-7234. I think it'd be cool. I mean, it's certain items. They're got to drop a fridge in your front yard, you know?
I hope not.
No.
But they do say it will be those essential grocery items. So what does that mean? Like a gallon of milk? That could be essential.
Yeah. Of course.
Some baby diapers or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, man. If the toilet paper got loose while the thing was
right?
flying, that'd be awesome TP to houses, you know?
Somebody in their backyard. Oh, I was just needing this. Yes.
A strand of toilet paper floop, floop, fluttering on down into your home.
But, would a Hot Pocket be essential?
Why not?
It's essential in my house.
Guys got to eat.
Exactly. I was like, my teenagers, they'd be like, pizza rolls, please.
They have a string, and they lower it with a string, and then put it down on the lawn, and then the guy walks out and grabs it.
So you have to be home to unhook it from the string.
It appears to me that that's what it's like. I don't know. That's only, it's only the video stuff that they're showing.
Yeah.
So you can only speculate what happens because they cut away and they come back and then you see the guy walking with a smile in his face back into the house. I got my Walmart.
But can you imagine not being home? And you have Jane, could you go next door? My drone's showing up in the next 5 minutes.
Right. So if you know somebody or maybe yourself in North Carolina that's received it by drone, 800-447-7234. Do share.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
The biggest wave was caught in 2020 already, meaning surfing. It's absolutely amazing.
Wow. How big?
It was big. It was humongous. It was 73.5 feet. It was in Portugal.
73 feet?
It's a tall wave.
That's like a rogue wave that you see on The Perfect Storm kind of a movie.
It is, but it was humongous. Big surfing competition was going on.
Okay.
There's a male competition and a female competition that was going on. And there was an overall winner, which was a guy, his name is Kai Lenny.
Okay.
But this was back in February. And so scientifically, they started researching the waves and who caught the biggest wave because the female winner was Maya Gabria. Mm-hmm. It turns out she caught the biggest wave of the day.
Oh, so she should have been the overall winner, or did he stay on the board longer? Maybe
that I don't know.
Okay,
but what I do know is that they claim that now she is the one this year that's caught the biggest wave, and it was that 73-foot monster.
It is so scary. I don't like being out in the surf. I could never be a surfer.
Why not?
It freaks me out.
Really?
Just thinking about the water coming over the top and churning you in that water.
Are you claustrophobic?
I'm not claustrophobic so much. I do have a healthy fear of water. And it's healthy because I love going boating and I have no issues. But I understand it's strange.
So you feel like you're going to drown if the wave comes on top of you.
A 73-foot wave? Yeah.
Oh, no, that's harmless.
No, that's like that George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, Perfect Storm.
Wow, you're going back there, huh?
I'm going back there because
remember, that's Hollywood.
It is Hollywood, but it was also based on a true story, so it's kind of like, no.
There's that.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
You started listening to his radio at a certain point in your life. And I'm wondering what the rest of the story is. We were sitting down, kind of peek behind the scenes. We get together every Monday.
Yeah.
We have this huddle between everybody who's on the air. And so we're sitting down with Courtney and Brian and Scott and Liz and I.
Yeah.
And Tony's along with us from promotions and Jody who helps with all the events. And started thinking and sharing stories about people that have been listening for a while and what God has done with their lives since they started listening to his radio. Kind of curious about your story. I mean, you started listening and God did something amazing, but what's the rest of your story? At 800-447-7234. Liz has been listening to his radio. I mean, she grew up here.
Right.
So you've been listening a long time. Your babies were in the back seat of the car when you were listening, too.
Right. I started listening even before they were born, but of course I was listening, with them in the back seat. And I remember Taylor being in the car seat in the back and just having his radio on. And listening all those years, I think it makes a huge impact. She starts to learn the lyrics and, we're going to Sunday school and we're going to church and she's learning the stories while she grows up. Of course, she's in her 20s now, but a couple of years ago, she decided to go into ministry. She went on something called the World Race, and she was gone for 11 months, and she took the gospel around the world. And some of the stories that she came back with of people that she impacted who had never heard the name Jesus blows your mind. And I think, where did that start? And I believe truthfully, her listening to the songs on his radio and the encouragement, and of course me taking her to church and all of these things had that huge impact on her
That's
life.
the rest of the story.
That is
That's
my rest of the
amazing.
story, yeah.
If Liz just kind of turned off the radio and never listened ever since, would Taylor have even done that?
No.
Because of the influence that Liz just had in a kid's life every time she turned on the radio in the car.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So what about you? What about the rest of your story? Kind of like a ripple effect, you know? When you drop a pebble into a pond and you see the ripple just kind of grow.
Right.
What's the rest of your story? 800-447-7234.
His Morning Crew.
We started talking yesterday. So behind the scenes, we get together what we call the Monday huddle.
Yeah.
We just chat and have conversations. It's everybody. Courtney's along with us, and Scott and Brian, who you hear in the middle of the day,
Yeah.
Liz and myself. And we started thinking about the people who listen to his radio, who've listened for a while, and then what God has done in their lives since they started listening.
Yeah.
And so we hear from Brittany at 800-447-7234. What's your story, Brittany?
I went to Anderson University. I kind of struggled my first year. Originally going to be a nursing student. And then afterwards, I was really I didn't do very well my first year. But then after that, I was really praying. I was like, God, is this really where you want me? And they said on his radio, God can use teachers. God can use teachers in a mission field. And it was Teacher Appreciation Week, and I had no idea. I've been praying to God for a while. Is this what you want me to do, God? Now I am teaching. I have been teaching for 4 years now, and this is definitely where he wants me. He's used me in so many ways with my students' lives, and I just wanted to share that with you guys because you guys have been a huge part in my own life. I just wanted to let you guys know that you guys are amazing, and I thank y'all so much just for being on the air every day.
Brittany, so completely humbled by you calling in today, sharing your story, and what a difference you're making in those kids' lives.
Right. She's impacting not only as a teacher, but as a Christian who is there being their role model.
You are, Brittany. I hope you really know that. That reminds me of just throwing a pebble into a river, you know, and in the water, and then all of a sudden that ripple happens, and that's the ripple effect for Brittany.
Yeah, exactly. So what's your story? We want to hear it. 800-447-7234. Text or call.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
Baby Archie, who is Meghan and Harry's baby boy,
Okay.
royalty, as you know, they still kind of go through some of the things that we do as parents, even though they are still royalty and have probably nannies and all this stuff helping them out. Baby Archie gets into some trouble. He's only a year old, but every time they go, not every time, but most times when they go to do a Zoom call, Meghan and Harry say, he crashes the Zoom call in some way.
Good for you, baby Archie. I'm proud of you, buddy.
He's like, I need my 15 minutes of fame too. But it's super cute because, you know what, if a baby crashes a Zoom call that I'm on, that's the best. Or if a dog crashes, I do not care.
It breaks up monotony.
Yes, and it's just that moment of, you know what, we're all going through this. We're all living life, and our babies are part of it. But he just celebrated a year old. The funny thing is, you know, William and Kate, the other prince and princess, their baby Prince Louis, I think he's 2. He's still doing the same thing. They say he climbs up on the couch or the chair and just starts hitting all the buttons.
During a Zoom call?
During a Zoom call.
Nice.
So it's nice to know that they may not have as many nannies and au pairs and all that stuff.
That's when the nanny's taking a break.
Maybe. Or they're just like, you know, just let us have our time with our kid. Because it didn't used to be that way with royalty.
True.
They were very hands-off.
I was on a Zoom the other week, and my 12-year-old comes crawling in behind me.
It was an army crawl. It was awesome.
Liz was on that Zoom call, too. She sees him just crawling out.
It was
as if nobody can see him.
It was the best.
Rob and Liz.
His Morning Crew.
Breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Listen, you've got to take a breath and listen. There's no Peeps coming this year.
Peeps.
There's no fall harvest, any kind of peep, no pumpkin peeps, nothing. There's no
Peeps.
Christmas Peeps. They're not going to be produced.
Okay. Well, no love lost for me.
Honestly, me either. I don't like them. But the company has just born Quality Confections, and they say they're using all of their people, all their manpower, all their factories to save it up to make the Easter Peeps, which are the little chicks and little bunnies. So, yeah, there's not going to be any fall Peeps or Christmas Peeps.
Okay, well, their big moneymaker is the Easter time.
Right, but they've tried to introduce them. Here's what I think. I think they spread themselves too thin anyway because they've introduced all these different crazy flavors and, different, just all kinds of different things. So
they're doing pumpkin, they're doing Christmas, they're doing all this stuff with the Peeps.
And there's
All right.
Jolly Rancher flavored and there's chocolate.
Wait a minute, ew. In a marshmallow Peep?
Yeah. Oh, there's all kinds of crazy, like there's a cinnamon one.
Okay, I get the chocolate one
Ew.
because if you do that and then you hit it and roast it, over a fire, then you already have a s'more.
Okay, now I'm good with that. But
I get the chocolate in the Peep. I don't get the other stuff in the Peep.
my father-in-law likes to, I don't know why, take their heads off.
Your father-in-law does this.
He does. And then he likes to let them sit out and get stale and kind of crispy. I don't know.
How long does he let it sit?
I don't think he's eaten the ones from last Christmas yet. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
Still trying to figure this out. Baby Nancy, never heard of it. I'm sorry. And Briar Horses, never heard of it. I'm sorry. And Tamagotchi?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
That's from the 90s.
Never heard of it. It's Rob and Liz on his radio. So I'm not normally into Hall of Fame stuff.
Okay.
People getting inducted. That's nice, but this is the Toy Hall of Fame. And so they started talking about the toys that are finalists and being inducted into the Toy Hall of Fame, which I guess is a really big deal.
Yeah.
And I looked at the list and I said, I don't even know what these are.
Yeah, some of these could be like older. I don't know because I don't know the Baby Nancy either. But Light Bright is on the list.
Oh, yeah. I had one of those.
I spent hours with me some Light Bright.
Man. I could make a clown like you wouldn't believe.
I can make a star.
Yeah, Jenga's on it. Masters of the Universe is on it. My Little Pony, of course. Oh.
My Little Pony.
Uh-oh.
My daughter, Taylor, every time we went into a store, she wanted a My Little Pony. And it didn't have to actually be the expensive name brand one, but just the little dollar one. And she would comb its hair until it had no tail left.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So right in the heart.
Do you still have that, Taylor? And will you pass it on to your own child one day?
Oh, you're going to make me cry.
Sorry, and Bingo is making it. Sidewalk Chalk. In the Toy Hall of Fame. Way to go, Sidewalk Chalk.
Who doesn't or hasn't played with Sidewalk Chalk? I think that's huge. I mean, you have it at Vacation Bible School. You have it at your house. You have it daycares. So, yeah.
Oh, it was big during COVID.
Yeah.
People who were making, art on their driveways.
Right.
Because they just didn't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
So I wonder the story behind your favorite toy when you were growing up as a kid. We just heard about My Little Pony with Liz.
Yeah. So many good memories.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think all of us had a favorite toy, whether it was a baby doll. Oh, Baby Alive. I had Baby Alive. I wanted kids so
really?
bad. Yes.
Did it come in a great box? My favorite toy was the box. I loved playing in the box.
A lot of kids do that.
You make Ford out of a box.
I'm glad I spent $150 on that toy.
Yeah, but the box. Classic.
His morning crew.
Thinking about those toys that are like your favorite, the story behind them, the what is it, toy?
Yeah.
The Toy Hall of Fame. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. So all these toys are being inducted to it. So what would the one that you would induct into it? Because it's been your favorite for so many years at 800-447-7234.
Brandon said he agrees with you. He said, Rob, I loved boxes so much. I got a bunch of big boxes for Christmas one year.
Your parents are awesome, Brandon. That's amazing.
And they saved a ton of money.
That's all you need. It's just a box for some kids, right?
Yeah.
Julie got through, too, at 800-447-7234. Her dad, this is Julie, would buy her Hess trucks.
Yeah.
And now her son, who's like 2, has found those Hess trucks, and now he cannot stop playing with them.
No, he's obsessed with trucks anyway and found those Hess trucks.
Isn't that amazing?
My mom used to buy those Hess trucks.
For you?
For her.
For herself?
She loved them.
Hey.
She would set them around, and then I tried to buy her one for Christmas, and I couldn't find a Hess station. I know that sold those trucks anymore, so
oh no,
I would love to get her one this year. That would be awesome.
Cool.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
If you were to induct a toy that was your favorite, what would it be? Why? I know there's a story behind it. Sure. 800-447-7234.
Latika, she texted in and said, my favorite toy was pound puppies. My sisters and I got them all for Christmas one year. She's had it forever.
I cannot place a pound puppy.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. I didn't have a lot of toys growing up.
Well, they even gave them away at Burger King or something as part of their kids' meals.
Okay.
And they were just like teeny tiny little versions. Oh my goodness, it was like you had to go.
That was the thing, huh?
Yeah, you had to get it. Justin texted and said baseball cards were a big part of my childhood. And he said he got a John Smoltz card and he got John Smoltz from the Braves to sign it. Like, that speaks to my heart.
For real?
And he said, I do still have them boxed up. You know how many he has?
I don't know.
20,000 baseball cards.
Dude.
He's sitting on a gold mine.
Dude.
Whoa, I'm totes jelly.
20,000.
Yes.
I want to see that collection.
I do too. Take a picture of it.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I wonder how you even display them, Justin.
Well, they're in boxes.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, you have to pick out, I guess, your John Smoltz one and have it framed. And there's some other gems in there, I bet.
That's amazing. 20,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so Laurel is here at 800-447-7234. What about you, Laurel?
My daughter had a baby doll by the name of Chrissy. She would always dress it and carry it around when she was in elementary school. We are a blended family. When it came time for her to go visit her biological father, her little 2-year-old, 3-year-old brother was very upset that she was going to be gone all summer. So she asked John Michael to take care of baby Chrissy while she was away. And that little boy carried that doll around with him everywhere. And when we moved and got on a plane, little Chrissy was on the back of John Michael's backpack all the way through the airport, and he kept that doll with him. Chrissy has still been present in our lives. Every year, Chrissy sits in the manger as baby Jesus, and now the grandchildren play with baby Chrissy.